Code is the most powerful part of Claude, and most people are barely scratching the surface. There are 6 things inside of Claude Code that every beginner needs to know. 4 of them let you build, while the other 2 let you build smarter and faster. And even while you're sleeping, I'm going to walk you through all 6 and show you exactly what each one does. And then by the end of this, you'll be able to use Claude in a way that 99% of people haven't figured out yet, starting with section number 1. Plan. So this is Claude Code running in the desktop app. Now there's also a terminal version, but for most beginners, this is the one you want. Today we're going to build something together, a personal morning briefing dashboard that pulls in your real calendar, your actual to-do list, the weather forecast, a motivational quote, and the top AI articles. So here at the end, it's going to run on its own every single morning without you even touching it. Can you spot that routines button on the sidebar? Well, we're going to come back to that because it's super important. Trust me. But first, let me show you exactly what we're looking at here. So over at the bottom here, you can see repo. It stands for repository, and essentially it just means it's your project folder. Before you start anything, you need to tell Claude where to save your files, or link to an existing project you want Claude to work on when you click it. You can pick a folder and then Claude gets access to everything inside it. Then over here, you can see it says model name on the bottom right. Well, when you click that, you see the models, and the effort models is just the brain Claude will use. So here are a couple options, but for us, we're sticking with Opus 4.7, which turns out to be the smartest one of them all. That's the one you should pick when you're making stuff. It's like 7 the pair that computed by computer. So I usually just leave it on Opus 4.7, and then effort is how hard Claude thinks. Fast builds take little effort, but end up shallow, while max effort moves slowly, yet delivers great depth. So when we're building something from the ground up, I prefer to use extra high. So that's what we're doing now. One of the most important sections, and I'm telling you, it's the most important one. You see it down in the bottom left, says accept changes. You've got a few choices here. Accept edits means Claude will make changes as it goes, and they'll handle it automatically without asking you. That's where Claude steps in to show you each change it's making. And then it's asking you to approve it every time before moving on to the next step. And then you also spot bypass permissions and auto mode, which are grayed out on my PC right now, and these let Claude be more autonomous. Auto mode still runs background safety checks, of course, but you're not manually approving anything. You want to get comfortable with the other models and understand the risks that come with it before you turn any of these on. And in the description, I have a link to Anthropic's safety and privacy policy. Check it out. And then there's plan mode. Plan mode is when Claude doesn't write any code at all. Its thing is it drafts your plan first, then waits for you to say yes. This is actually Claude's superpower, and most people aren't even aware it exists. All right, we're kicking things off in plan mode and getting this set up right now. I'm going to type, build me a personal morning briefing dashboard that shows today's calendar, shows my to-do list, it displays the current weather, gives me a motivational quote, and at the top, it shows me 3 AI articles from today. Okay, take a look here like I said. Claude isn't writing any code, but it is writing me a plan. It's figuring out what it's going to build. It's planning the structure, figuring out which files to create, and then, once it's done, it's going to wait for me to approve it before it starts building. You always want to start in replace mode before you start building clock code. Trust me, it makes your projects way better. Alright, the plan seems solid, so let's head over to section 2, which is build. Since I'm happy with the plan, I'm going to switch back to accept edits, and then I'm going to let Claude run and do what it does. Alright, it's making exactly what we asked for, generating the files and the code. It's building the whole, and we'll see what it spits out. All right, take a look. It's done now. It's using placeholder data, right? We haven't shared any of our info with them yet. We're going to fix that, trust me. But first, we need to make some changes that take us to section number Sellyhand, 3 previews. So on the right-hand side here, this is your preview pane. So your app is running live here. This sits right next to the chat, but it doesn't look perfect to me. There are a couple of changes I think I want to make, and that's where the preview piece really comes in handy, since we can talk to it and ask for something like making the entire dashboard light mode, or include a greeting at the top saying good morning with today's date, and then just hit enter. And it'll make those changes for you right over here in preview mode. Right now, I'm not totally satisfied with how this looks, so I'm going to bounce ideas back and forth until it's just right. I'll be back in a moment. Okay, our dashboard looks fine now, but it's still using fake data, so let's fix that. And that brings us to section number 4, Toolbox. You notice this plus button right here. This is your set of tools. Now we're going to check out connectors. This is how Claude interacts with other applications. You may have come across the term MCP server, which stands for Model Context Protocol, before. But all that is how Claude connects to your tools. And as for me, Gmail is in my toolbox. I have Google Calendar, I have Slack, and there's a ton more already connected. Plus, you can actually search the whole directory if you want to. And just so we're clear, I know some of you are asking about privacy. Well, Claude can only do what you give it permission to. In your privacy settings, you can actually decide if your data gets used for training or not. So you still have full control here, but you're trusting Claude a little bit with access. A few of these tools. Okay, so I'll make sure Google Calendar and Google Drive are switched on. And now I'm going to type in pull to get my real meetings from my Google Calendar and my to-do list from my Google Drive. That's exactly where I keep my to-do list. You folks might use a different tool for your to-do list. Check this out. Those are my real meetings and my real to-do list. This is my actual data. Now I want to mention another tool right here. They're called slash commands. This is something that's super important for you to get, but it often gets misunderstood. Now, when we look at the tools, we can hover over any of these slash commands. It's going to show you exactly what it does, but the one I want you to focus on is slash in. Maybe it's in there. I don't know how you'd say it. It's in there, and when you execute slash in it, Claude scans your projects and generates a file named claude.md. Now, this is Claude's memory for your project from that point on. So anytime you open this project, Claude is going to remember how you like things done. You need to make sure you're setting this up on every project. And then there are plugins and add-ons that extend what Claude Code can do. So it's worth exploring once you get more comfortable with it. But we're not going to use it today, okay? So our dashboard has live data, it keeps our preferences, and it's hooked up to our tools, but we aren't finished yet. We've got 2 more things to do. And the final one is why I made this video, since it's something brand new and exciting. But before we jump to number 5, make sure to subscribe, like this video, and drop a comment. It really helps me out. I'd appreciate it if you could check the channel. But let's move on to section 5, environments, where it says right at the bottom down here, local means Claude Code is running right now on your computer, or mine. But if you click it, you can also run Claude Code in the cloud, meaning that Claude Code is running on Anthropic servers on your computer, so you'll also see remote control. And shush for connecting other machines, that's a little bit more advanced. But keep in mind that's where they're currently located. The reason I brought up the cloud is buttering, since what's next is about to start, keep in mind the routines we talked about because we're heading back to this part here. This is section of 6 is autopilot. So this is the final one, and it's exactly why I saved it for last. That's because when you click routines, you'll see 2 options. One is that it runs locally on your machine, so you need your computer to stay on all the time. But it also runs in the cloud, which is pretty cool. So even if your computer is closed or off, or even while you're sleeping, the routines keep running for you. And when you wake up, things can get done. So now we can take our morning briefing and put it on autopilot. But before we get into that, I'll have Claude Code draft a detailed prompt for this routine. So I'm going to have it write me a detailed prompt for the routine that pulls my calendar, checks my to-do list, collects the weather, and fetches the top AI articles for the day. Also emails me a complete briefing via Gmail every single morning. By doing that, Claude wrote me a detailed prompt, which it just did, and I can paste it right into my routine here. Now that's way better than anything I could have typed on my own or even thought of. So you might as well leverage Claude's brain power for that. Alright, so now I start using routines. I'm going to click on new routine. I'm going to pick remote. I'm going to paste the prompt in. I'm going to connect my Gmail and Google Calendar connectors and schedule this for 7 a.m. And then I'll hit done. Plus, I definitely don't want to wait till tomorrow to show you this works. So I'm going to hit run now. It'll pull my calendar, build the briefing, and then send it off right into my inbox. And let's see what that looks like. And here it is, my full morning briefing sitting right in my inbox right now. So tomorrow at 7 a.m. this will run on autopilot for me. And I won't even need to open my laptop. It's just going to be there. Just a couple of things before you can get started. You do need the Claude desktop app. Since that's the version we were using, it's free to download. But remember, you need a pro plan to use Claude Code, starting at $20 a month. But that lets you use everything I just demonstrated except for auto mode, which needs the max plan too. Just a reminder that you're giving Claude access to your personal files, so read Anthropic's security in the description again. And privacy policy, so you completely get what's happening now when we discuss Claude Code. There are far more features. There were things we didn't get into today, like agent teams, sub-agents, context, and skills. And honestly, we're just scratching the surface when it comes to what an MacPCC bit on the Scala barely is. So these are the features that take you from beginner to intermediate. If you found this helpful, please drop a comment, hit like, and subscribe, and I'll catch you in